Hey, welcome to 1500ESPN.com. I'm Derek Wetmore. I'm going to share with you my 5 thoughts from Sunday's Twins game, a 5-3 loss to the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. Thought number 1, the game turned on Casey Fien's relief outing. In the 8th inning, Fien came on and gave up a pair of 2-run home runs in what had been a 1-1 ball game. First one was to Ryan Braun, second one was to Adam Lind. Casey Fien came in, faced 4 batters, gave up 4 runs, did not record an out, and that was basically all she wrote for the Twins. They made it interesting in the 9th, but after falling behind, getting 4 8th-inning runs, kind of putting you behind the 8 ball there heading into the final inning, that's what did the Twins in. Tommy Milone had been good through 6 innings. Blaine Boyer gave up a run in the 7th, but the 4 runs for Casey Fien, ultimately what spoiled the day for the Twins. They lost the series to the last-place Brewers, and now are kind of struggling to hold any ground in the American League Central, which seems to maybe be shaping up to be a 3-team race. Probably too soon to say that, but looks like it's headed in that direction anyways. Thought number 2, it was a pitcher's duel. As I mentioned, Tommy Milone was good through 6 innings. He was pulled after the 6th inning. More on that in a second, but the game really had the feeling of one of those classic pitcher's duels. I mean, you wouldn't have necessarily thought that. Looking at the lineup cards entering the game, you had Tommy Milone squaring off against Mike Fiers, but it was through 6 innings. Neither pitcher had given up more than 2 hits. No runs were on the board. I mentioned Milone getting pulled, and then when you see the numbers that the bullpen gave up, you might second-guess that decision. Why'd you pull Milone with a shutout going? But I think the logic was sound at the time they pulled Milone. Not only was he at 99 pitches through those 6 innings, the pitcher spot came up in the batting order in the top of the 7th with runners on second and third base and 2 outs. So RBI spot for the Twins in a tight game, especially with their pitcher approaching 100 pitches, makes a lot of sense to go get a pinch hitter there. Molitor went to Eduardo Nunez, who was out and didn't drive in a run, but you like his chances a little bit better than you would have liked Tommy Milone's in that at-bat in the 7th inning. Thought number 3, Brian Dozier did his part in the 6th inning to keep the game close. He recorded an out without using his throwing hand. The second baseman was going to be tight on time. Adam Lind hit a little weak tapper with 2 outs and a runner on third base. Might have been second and third or first and third. Anyways, the Brewers had 2 guys on with 2 outs, and Brian Dozier got a little ground ball, a tapper that got past Tommy Milone. So Dozier was going to have to make the play, and he was going to have to make it in a hurry. He was, 20 or 25 feet away from Joe Mauer when he got the ball in his glove, and without time to catch it and flip over to first base, he simply flipped it with his glove hand, and Mauer recorded the out on the slow-footed Adam Lind to get the Twins out of the 6th inning without any further damage done. Tommy Milone ended up going. He took a no decision, didn't give up a single run through his 6 innings of work, but as I mentioned, the bullpen kind of fell apart for the Twins in the 7th and 8th innings. Thought number 4, Dozier was again an important part of the game, not just the glove flip, but he came up in the 9th inning, the top half of the 9th for the Twins, representing what would have been the go-ahead run. Dozier had 2 runners on base after Shane Robinson pinch hit and reached base, and then Danny Santana also reached on a little flare single over the third baseman's head. Dozier was at the plate, and at a 1-1 pitch on the outside corner called a strike. Dozier did not like it. He was visibly upset. So then facing a 1-2 count, he takes another pitch, low, strike 3, gets rung up. I should say low in the strike zone, because Pitch Effects thought that both of those pitches were strikes. Dozier, maybe he looked like he was pretty upset with both of the calls. Pitch Effects called them strikes. I do wonder, though, if Dozier was just reacting to what had been a smaller strike zone earlier in the game, suddenly stretching back to being sort of a regular-sized strike zone. I didn't talk to Dozier. I'm in Minnesota. They're in Milwaukee. But that's my speculation based on what I saw, based on the way that game was unfolding. Early, it looked like it was going to be a smaller strike zone. Late, Dozier gets rung up to end the game when he had a chance to drive in a run, maybe 2 runs, and if he could drive himself in with a home run, he would have been the go-ahead run for the Twins in the top of the 9th. It wasn't to be. Twins ended up losing 5-3 to the Brewers. Thought number 5, it wasn't just Casey Fien out of the bullpen that struggled. Blaine Boyer gave up a run in the 7th inning. Leadoff double to Aramis Ramirez, then pinch runner Hector Gomez winds up getting bunted over to third and scoring. So the Twins bullpen in 2 innings gave up 5 runs, and that was the difference in the ball game Sunday. That'll do it for this video. My 5 Thoughts column is posted, 1500ESPN.com. Check that out for kind of more in-depth breakdown of Sunday's game. Additionally, if you're interested in the Twins and their weekend series or bigger picture stuff from the Twins too, about to record a Touch 'Em All podcast with Phil Mackey. Heading over to the podcast studio now after I hit the end button on this video. We're going to talk about Byron Buxton. We'll talk some Twin starters. We'll talk Irvin Santana. Plenty of stuff coming up on this week's Touch 'Em All podcast. If you're not already subscribed, go to iTunes, under podcasts, search Touch 'Em All. Subscribe to that so you can get this weekly Twins podcast sent to you without any additional effort on your part. So that'll do it for this video. I'll check back in with you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. I'm Derek Wetmore. I will see you later.